You ready?
I'm ready. Oh, damn.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of your favorite podcast. You know the name. Woo, woo, woo! Yeah.
Wow, this is a fucking podcast right now. Holy shit.
Okay, we do it live. This is the singing mic.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, no, I'm familiar with this.
And I also give it to the guests. Let me see what you got.
We got Matt D'Elia coming in crystal clear. That's right, you be hearing me with the echo. Uh-oh, not that motherfucking gecko from Geico. You need insurance when I come around. Motherfucker, I'll give you a big pound, quarter pounder, motherfucking CCH pounder. All I can do is say pounder. I haven't freestyled in 15 motherfucking years. Oh!
I love it. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Matt D'Elia. Woo, woo, woo.
Fuck yeah, dude.
All right. I mean, I just got to tell you right off the top.
Yeah.
Way better than Chris.
Dude.
Like, he didn't do, and that's the only time I want to talk about that motherfucker, but he just came on and went, yeah. You know what I mean? You came on with like a little bit of flow, a little bit of action.
The thing about Chris is that if he doesn't want to do a thing,
he won't do it.
He's not fucking ever doing it.
But you know, at least he took the mic. I've had other guests who have been like real kind of dickheads about it, like, nah, you know, like just like, I'm not doing that. And I'm like, they just, it messes up the whole, you know. But anyway, before we start, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the podcast. Longtime friend, we don't talk enough, Mr. Matt D'Elia.
Long time.
So here you are, man.
Dude.
You know, it's one thing, when, you know what I love about doing a podcast is you get to bring people in and like have like a deep conversation that we don't normally ever have.
For sure.
But I think I have some misconceptions about you that I want to address now.
Great.
Because I feel like you a pretentious artsy fuck. You know what I mean?
Fucking knew that was coming. Let's get it out of the way.
Like you want to watch, like if you go see a movie, you're not going to see it unless it's like Swedish and it's like got a green tint on it and it's like everything's in Korean.
That sounds good. That sounds like a fucking movie I'd see. But I'll tell you what the truth is.
Tell me the truth.
I look like that.
Yes.
And I definitely know I look like that.
Uh-huh.
Every time I'm in Silver Lake, I see everybody with a fucking beard, little long hair. I'm like, I need to.
You should be writing a script at like a off-brand coffee shop right now.
But let me tell you something. I've looked like this. In fact, I've basically been wearing these clothes since I was like fucking 17.
Right. So
I was like doing the strung out looking motherfucker for a long time.
Okay.
Right? Before it was cool.
You're
I was
the
doing
OG.
this shit before it was cool. And it's still not cool, but I'm still fucking doing it. But yeah, I mean, the thing, all right, I get this a lot because like, my friends and people around me, they think of me as like particularly a movie snob.
Yeah, are you a snob?
But here's the thing. I'm not a snob. I like what I like. I do try to see fucking everything though.
Okay.
And here's the thing. Before I ever actually made a movie, I was like the most judgmental fuck. Then I made one. I was like, this is the hardest thing ever.
Right.
And if you can do like, if you can make a movie, 90-minute movie, let's say, that's 5 minutes, 5 good minutes, you did fucking good. Oh, that shit is fucking hard.
It's changed your perspective.
I mean, completely.
Now, you grew up like you're the one that kind of followed in your. Do you feel like you followed in your dad's footsteps?
More so. It's kind of interesting now that all three of us are actually working in the same industry, because I grew up around on sets, but it was always TV, usually network TV.
Right.
And Chris obviously does his stand-up. And almost all of everything I've done is in the independent film space, which is obviously the same industry.
Right.
But as you know, if you've done a fucking indie,
yes, I have.
You know it's not the same as walking on some NBC show set.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's the fucking night and day. But it is the same kind of shit. So when we all get together and talk about our work, the day-to-day is very different, but overall it's kind of the same kind of shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, all right. But you still didn't like deny that you're
no
pretentious fuck.
No, I'm not. Look, here's the thing about pretentiousness.
Don't skirt around it. It's fine. I'm very pretentious about a lot of things. You know?
I'm probably an asshole about movies. Yeah, I'll give you that. If someone wanted to say you're a pretentious fuck, all good, dude.
Okay, but give me, like, what movie have you seen recently that you were like all right, how about this? What movie have you seen that, like, everybody liked and you were like, I don't get it? Or what movie have you seen that you were like, regardless if people saw it or not, you were like, my God, that was one of the best movies I've seen in a long time.
Okay.
In your recent times.
Okay.
Because I got one for you that we could talk about, but give me you.
The one that everybody that I've been talking to loves, and I'm like, I don't know.
Uh-oh, can't wait to hear what.
I guess there's two, and they're different sides of the spectrum. This year, Uncut Gems.
Okay.
Everybody's flipping out on it. And I was like, maybe I don't get it. Because here's the thing though. Part of being a fucking snob and seeing everything, I do still like to think, peel back the shit that I do like about a thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, even if I'm like, I'm not into that movie, like that was kind of cool and it's cool. Uncut Gems is different, but I just didn't have the response. People walking out of the theater like, holy shit, the Sandman's a fucking legend, and he is, but see, I think that's what it's about. It is.
So let's say it was some unknown actor playing this role, might not be a great movie. But when you have a body of work for someone that has done something a certain way for so long, and then they do something like this, that's part of what it is.
It becomes a part of the narrative entirely, absolutely. But
don't you take that into account?
Here's the thing, though, and this is a thing that I think I get caught up a lot on. When somebody will judge a movie and they'll be like, for that kind of thing, I like it.
Right.
And I don't, my brain doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
Like I love The Naked Gun as much as I like The fucking Godfather or some shit. And to me, they're just great.
Right.
Like those are just great movies. I don't care that one's way more serious.
So I guess what you're saying is, let's not put everything in categories to justify liking it or not.
Yeah.
Let's say, what are great movies, and these are the criteria for great movies. And for you, it can be like, it's The Godfather or it's Airplane or Naked Gun. And then
100,000%.
You know what? I'm kind of with you on that, because when you look, but I do think that I liken it to basketball, where you go, who's the greatest player ever? And then you go, okay, but by position, I think it's important, because a center is only as good as the people that get him the ball.
Right.
But once he has the ball, he could be the greatest player ever.
Same shit,
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I get what you're saying, Bo. So so Uncut Gems is one of them.
And
what's another one?
Did you see the 1917 one?
I did.
All right. That's a good example, because that movie technically is the most insane shit. It's unbelievable.
I was in the theater as somebody in the industry.
Yeah.
I couldn't help but be in the theater going like this. How the fuck did they do that? I was like, there's a scene of you see the lake, and it's and then they're walking across. You're like, where's the cameraman? Where's the sound guy? How are they doing this?
Dude,
there must have been a magical moving. And so to me, just technically, that was one of the greatest movies I've ever seen.
Which alone makes it worth seeing.
Yeah.
And here's the thing about that, though. And I actually fully agree. It made me think about, how the fuck are they doing this? But that took me out of the movie, you know?
Do you know what? Okay, agreed. Okay, but I think that we have to remember that we're in the industry.
Yes. Okay, yes.
It's like if I'm watching comedy and I'm like, you know what? As a director, when you're watching, you go, I don't like that choice. Yes. So, but in defense of what you're saying, if that's happening, that means I couldn't suspend my disbelief, because what they were doing wasn't. But I think this is different.
Yeah, it is a little bit different.
Shit was so first of all, the first shot in the movie, I didn't know anything about the movie.
Okay.
I didn't know anything.
Okay.
So 10 minutes later, I'm like, they haven't cut the camera.
Right. When that sinks in, you're just like, when are they gonna?
Yeah. And then I was like, oh, I get it. But then
you didn't know that at all. I
didn't know anything.
Shit.
So I was blown away.
Yeah. Okay.
But then you start doing this though. Because I'm in the industry, I go, oh, they cut it right there.
Yeah, right.
You
start looking.
You start looking. You're only because. But it's because of how amazing it was.
Yeah.
You know what it reminds me of watching David Copperfield in Vegas.
It's a similar thing. It's where's the trick? How the fuck are they doing this?
How the fuck could he do this? I enjoyed that part. I think that was part of the experience.
That's what I liked about that movie.
Yeah.
Because I think the problem when you try to do a one-take movie like that is that there's the inevitable lulls. You can only rush them so much.
Right.
Whereas if you could cut, you could just fucking cut to the next thing.
Yeah.
So the trick is making it work. I think you run the risk of sort of convoluting it a little bit, but there's shit in that movie, which is exactly what you're saying, where the camera just is doing 360 rotations and there's nothing in any view of anything. And there's a scene where I didn't know this, but someone told me after, and I looked it up. It's true. In that, there's one scene where remember the scene where they're pushing the van out of the mud?
Yeah.
That's one of the scenes that it goes all the way around in.
Right.
And it's there were grips in like grips and shit in the army.
That's what I thought.
Yeah,
I bet
moving cables and shit.
See, I bet there were cameramen.
I'm sure
they were dressed like that, so they could hand the camera off, and then they can go.
Yes, yeah.
You know those scenes, like you know, and when you're walking in a trench.
I mean, I hope they got paid double for that because that's fucking magic.
Dude, I'm just saying, this movie is so worth watching.
Yeah, you got to see it.
It's just one of those. I was like, if just for the experience of it, you could be like, God damn, because you're looking at my friend of mine brought up this to me though. My buddy Jason Zumwalt, writer director, he was like, they didn't go 6 miles. Because that was what the guy said.
Right.
It's 6 miles away.
Yeah.
But I said to him, it don't matter how far it is.
Yeah.
They were going across enemy lines.
Yeah. Also, if you're looking at a viewer like that, to me, it's hard to. I'm not looking for shit like wrong in a movie. Right. You know those people that are like, that doesn't make sense.
Unfortunately, I'm that guy,
dude.
I am so that guy.
And so, does it make you like a lot less, or is it kind of separate for you? Like that was bullshit, but you can separate it.
Okay, it's like I talk about it on stage a lot because I'm gonna give you an example to put you in my head of things that like the continuity things that I obsess over.
Okay.
So like, did you see Avengers Endgame?
I did.
Okay, so I'm watching Avengers Endgame. I love the universe. I love what they did from beginning to end, starting with Iron Man and all. Okay, so they combine the universes. So okay, here's Thanos, right? He's in Wakanda. He does the snap. All right, when he does the snap, Nick Fury's in New York. He disappears.
Okay.
Hawkeye's in like a farm in Iowa. His family disappears. Ant-Man, he's in San Francisco. His people disappear.
Yeah.
Like I said, Thanos is in Wakanda, which is supposed to be in Africa.
Right.
Why is it daylight in all these places?
See, yeah, that is not a thing I would think.
Okay, that's me.
But okay, let me ask you though.
Let me tell you something. I annoy the fuck out of myself.
Yeah, okay.
But I can't not be that guy.
That was my next question. Is it because there's a kind of viewer that's looking for it and likes to find it and be like, right. You're like, I wish I wasn't like that. Yeah, okay.
I wish I wasn't like that.
Because I got a million ways. I'm like, oh fuck, there was my dumbass again doing the thing.
That's what I do. I'm in a movie and I'm like, you know what I hate about myself too? I think it's just because I've watched so many movies and just being a stand-up, you just kind of like get to know people and you get to know situations.
Yeah.
I'm this guy. That's the killer. I'm talking talking about 10 minutes in, I'm like, this is what's going to happen. So I can't go to movies with people because my friends are like, don't fucking say anything because they don't get it at all.
Yeah.
And I forget that I'm just that guy. You know what I mean?
It's in your DNA
It's just in my DNA. So I'm like, oh, I know. It's like if I see, there was this movie with Angelina Jolie, Ethan Hawke. Is that his name?
Yeah. Wait, I know that movie.
Where he's a killer.
Yeah.
Okay. And then the other character in the movie was like, okay, this is my point. If there are 3 stars in a cop crime thriller, all right, and 2 of them are cops, guess who the killer is?
Dude.
So my thing is like, don't give me a movie with 3 stars and it's a crime drama because guess who the killer is? It's one of these motherfuckers.
I couldn't agree more. In fact, when I was living in New York, this fucking movie, you remember that Ashley Judd movie, Along Came a Spider?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. The killer in that, I believe, is played by Carrie Elwes.
Yeah, he's the cop.
Yes. Okay.
Morgan Freeman.
Right.
Him.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. And then on the bus ads, I remember because I was in New York, there were fucking buses everywhere. It was on the bus ad. It was Ashley Judd's face, Sam Jackson's face, and their names above it. Right. And then Carrie Elwes' name, and his face wasn't on it.
Right.
This is how much I'm like that too. I was like, Carrie Elwes is the killer.
Right.
From a fucking bus ad.
This is what I'm saying. So you can't.
Yeah.
But I guess most people aren't like that. They go, oh, they're surprised.
Yeah.
When I get surprised, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, like Sixth Sense.
Yeah. Well, yeah. That's the
you know
shit
what I mean?
where you're just
like Sixth Sense. I was like, thank you.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
You got me.
Yeah.
You know, I loved M. Night Shyamalan in the first 3 or 4 movies.
I fucking loved him. And I still go back and watch his early shit because I'm way into that shit.
Yeah. You see, are you watching Servant?
I saw the first episode and I wanted to see the rest.
You got to watch the rest because
I heard it's good.
It's really good.
Yeah.
But you saw the pilot.
Yes.
He did the pilot. Now, one thing that I didn't like about the pilot, and it became a set piece, is all these weird angles. Like we're talking like this, and the camera's over here, and it's shooting past my nose to get you. And I was like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah. So wait, did he only direct the first one?
No, I think he directed a few of them.
Okay, yeah.
But it's actually a really amazing show just because they keep you like every time an episode ends, you go, what?
Yeah. You know what I like about that show too? It's a half hour, and it's like it
easily digestible.
They're fucking with the format now because TV. People talk a lot about the golden age of television, and it is in a lot of ways. But one of the coolest things I think is that format, the length of an episode, because usually if it's a drama or a thriller, cop show, whatever the fuck, hour long, period, always,
right.
You know, and a comedy is a half hour, always, period, no matter what.
Yeah.
Now M. Night's like, that's going to be a half hour. And it's like, it sounds like, is that going to work? And then you watch it and you're like, that's fucking amazing.
Yeah,
why is this the only thing doing this thing?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But again, like I think the problem I have is I have too much knowledge in my head about the person, which goes back to your point about uncut gems. So it's like, even here's Sandler, who we know him as, and it's like that Pulp Fiction role, for like Travolta,
totally.
You know what I mean? Like this is his role. Where now we're gonna look at him and be like, oh, he's gonna be
cool again.
Yeah, like what's his name? Like Gary Shandling started playing villains.
Yeah.
Like what's his name? What's his name that made what's that other? Oh my god. That made what's the Afterlife movie, the comic, and then
Ricky Gervais?
No, judging my
Albert Brooks.
Albert Brooks.
Oh yeah.
Albert Brooks is now he plays an asshole in every movie.
Yeah, that's true. He was in Drive as the villain.
He's great at it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think that this is now Sandler's time to be like, okay, I'm going to be that guy.
I mean,
know,
I like Sandler. There's a thing with Uncut Gems where people are flipping out about it.
Yeah,
like he's like,
I haven't seen it yet.
Okay, well, I won't ruin anything for you, but like he's sort of, I see him as becoming like the next, like, you know how Bill Murray's like this insane like legend,
right,
untouchable. I feel like he's on the way to that, which is what it is. It's not like it bothers me, but I'm like, I don't know, it's fucking a movie. You know what I mean? Like all he did was be in a fucking movie. You know, like one serious movie for a while. I mean, he was in Punch Drunk Love. I did fucking love him in that shit.
Yeah.
But and I got nothing against Sandler. But just the whole freak out of the novelty of him doing this kind of movie.
Right.
Feels like it kind of colored that a bit more.
Yeah, it happens. You know, it's
a hype thing. I mean,
it's
you
just
never
like when
know.
the Oscars and like remember when Pacino won? It was like that was bullshit. He shouldn't have won for Scent of a Woman.
Dude,
it was just a robbery that year. You know, but it's like one of those things where you like that becomes a factor in the things.
Or Scorsese winning for The Departed and shit. Like,
right.
Like a lifetime achievement award.
Right, because Departed wasn't one of his better movies.
Yeah, not even close.
And that's when like Leo DiCaprio was on this thing where he's going to die in every movie.
Right. Yeah.
You know,
well, his thing was like, I got to be an adult in every movie.
Yeah.
Because I'm like this kid teen heartthrob. So for like 10 years, he was like, I'm dying in every fucking movie.
Every fucking movie he's got to die. Yeah. It was like, Blood Diamond, Departed. Yeah. What was it? There was like two others where I was like, I bet you DiCaprio dies in this.
DiCaprio dying. There was a whole decade of DiCaprio dying. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. What's a dream job for you?
Oh man, you know what I like a lot. Speaking of DiCaprio, I mean, he's the kind of guy that can get this shit made. So if we're talking dream, like pipe dream shit, like a big budget fucking period thing where you're just like, here's what I like about period stuff. It can't really get dated because when you're making something now, you're going to make it in the trends of now, the style of now, with the intonations, everybody's voice of now.
Got you.
When you're making a period thing, it's never really going to be dated because that period is already dated in our minds, right?
Okay.
So I mean, I don't know why the fuck this is the first one I'm thinking of, probably because I'm a pretentious fucking asshole. But Stanley Kubrick's Barry Lyndon, right? That movie takes place when it takes place. It takes place when it takes place. So you're not gonna. Whereas in 2001, that shit takes place in the future,
right?
And it can look dumb, like that doesn't look like the future.
Yeah, isn't it crazy when like you go back to all those things and they go, "This is going to be 2004," and it's like, but the thing about it is that technology they think is going to happen looks so dumb,
so dumb. It looks dumber than if they just did it of the shit of the day,
right.
And if you're doing a period thing. Especially if you have enough money.
But period, like, what do you mean?
Rebuild.
Like the old English or old Europe or Westerns
like fucking
or what?
Crazy movie about like a general like losing his mind in a revolutionary war or some shit.
Gotcha.
I just came up with that. That's my next movie, dude. Fuck yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So is that? Oh, so okay. But then what are you working on? Like, what is like
right now? Okay, so I'm actually making another movie with my next movie with Chris is in it.
Oh wow.
So that'll
is this the first time you've other than his special?
Yeah. No, we've never. Yeah, that's right. I directed Chris's special. But
he fired his father.
Yeah, dude. It was actually great. He fired my dad and hired me all at like the same moment, basically. So he fired my dad, and my dad was. I mean, I don't want to speak for him, but he seemed like
a little upset about it,
a little butthurt about it, you know. And then he turns around and is like, "Matt, will you do it?" And my dad was like, "That's the best firing of my fucking life." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
because how could he be mad? You could hire this fuck.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it was the one person he's happy to lose a fucking job to.
I love your dad. I text him every holiday.
Dude, he loves it when you do that, by the way. Because I'm with him every holiday, and he's like, who texted me? I'm like, actually, I fucking do. Erik fucking Griffin.
Secretary's Day.
Just every possible day.
I love that guy. It was great. I got to work with him on Blunt Talk. With,
that's right. That's right.
Yeah, that was the first time I was like, so it was like great to see him. And I loved How to Get Away with Murder.
Oh, yeah. Dude,
I still watch that show. I don't think he's not doing it anymore.
On it anymore.
But I love that show. I think What's-Her-Face is just phenomenal.
Viola?
Yeah.
Dude, she's
phenomenal.
I mean, I would visit him on set sometimes and just watching every once in a while, mainly through him being around him, and because he's worked with her and like James Spader and Alfred Molina.
Yeah.
These actors who are just like so good.
Oh, that's right, Boston Legal, because he was the showrunner on Boston Legal, right?
Yeah. And you're just around them, and they're so pro and so fucking good that they'll be carrying on a conversation with you, eating a fucking banana, and then suddenly like rolling sound speeds, action, and they're just like talking to you, and then suddenly they're not only in the scene doing their job, but they're so good.
Melissa Leo was like
dropped
that.
In.
Melissa Leo was like that.
Right.
I'm dying up here.
Oh, right. Yeah.
There was a scene where she freaked out on set about something that camera people would. She just had a freak out or a meltdown, right?
Right.
And then it was like, we filmed the scene.
Yeah.
And I wanted to go like this.
Dude. It's almost freaky to watch that shit.
This bitch is bad.
I mean, it's like, fucking freaky to watch that shit, dude.
Yeah.
Because they're just so good and so tapped in.
I know, but there is something that I don't know if I could be that great of an actor because I don't have that, like, I don't know because I don't talk about it the way they talk about it.
Yeah.
You know, it's like when you watch an award show and somebody wins an award, then they have this kind of like really like ridiculous, the art of acting and this is a special, when I hear that, I just go, yuck. I don't think about it the way you're thinking about it, but it doesn't mean I can't tap into the way I'm thinking about it. But that particular, there's like a universal way that these artsy types think about things.
I mean, award shows are the worst example of that because they're just there to like celebrate them and what they do.
I know, just sucking themselves off.
Like, what we do is so whatever, and it's just like you're a fucking actor, dude. Like I love actors, but who gives a shit?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, talk like nobody actually gives a shit.
But then at the same time, though, in defense of that, I don't know if you play, are you into sports? Do you play fantasy?
Yeah, big baseball, big fantasy baseball.
Okay, so then if you play fantasy baseball, there's a way that when you're playing fantasy sports, that you talk about it with your friends that do it.
Yes.
And you're talking about it like you're the actual GM of a real team.
Yep.
Now, from the outside, people that are not into that, they want to go like this. Dude, this isn't real.
100%.
I don't want that motherfucker around.
Get him out of here.
Because this is escapism.
Yeah.
So so in that way, I think that when actors they're up there on their award shows, going like, the art of blah blah blah, that's them playing fantasy football.
It is, but this is a big but. You're not on fucking TV when you do it.
Right.
And if you were, you'd wrap it up and be like, "Thanks for my award. Bye." You wouldn't be like, well, my team, the GM that I'm the fucking...
So imagine, when I drafted Tom Brady.
I would love that, but I would like that more than the actor one, actually.
I know, a fantasy football award.
That'd be fucking amazing.
That'd be fucking amazing.
I would tune into that shit, no doubt, yeah.
So, I mean, how is it being from such a, do you guys consider yourselves a famous family? And when are you going to do your part?
Well, no, and I would say because of me. Although, honestly... Chris is unbelievably famous. Yeah, you walk around with Chris, as I'm sure you fucking know.
It's ridiculous.
It's just like, but what's weird? To my perspective, because to me, he's just my fucking brother.
Right. Of course.
So, but there was a time, he was on the arc of he was on his way up for a while, and nobody really would recognize him so much, and then it seemed like day. It was like suddenly everyone was recognizing this shit. This was like 4 or 5 years ago. And it was a weird thing for me because it was like, this is just a shift because like it's just me and my fucking brother, but everybody fucking around. It's like, is my brother like extremely famous? Because I have no perspective on it.
He's so famous, okay, that I'll never forget this. We're at the Comedy Store. We're sitting out on the front front porch, whatever you call it, the front bar area. And like, I'm standing next to him and somebody goes, "Oh shit, man, you were on Workaholics," you know? To him,
yeah.
And I'm like, he was on one episode.
That's actually fucking hilarious.
He was on one, and he loves that kind of shit, you know?
Yeah, dude. I mean,
I
that's
was like,
hilarious.
I was on almost all the episodes.
Yeah. I'm just in the show, always.
I'm on the show.
Yeah, that's
and
amazing.
then so I was like, well, that's how famous somebody is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Dude.
You know, so I don't know. I just, one thing I'll say, I said, he was on the podcast, and I said to him, one of my favorite things about him is that the guy I met is the same guy now.
Dude, I listened to that episode and I heard you say that, and I actually had a moment similar to like people just recognizing Chris, because again, when I've been very close to him my whole life.
Right. So you guys were close brothers.
Close, yeah,
Okay.
super close. Especially when he moved out, like we instantly were just like, this is like 20 years now. Moved out of our parents' house, you know, when he was of age. But yeah, I mean, I had a moment when I was listening to that podcast where I was like, that's actually totally true.
Yeah.
Like he's exactly the same. I mean, I wish he fucking changed a little bit.
But I was about to say that isn't necessarily a good thing.
No,
it's not always good.
No,
because he can be like, he's just a weird,
weird motherfucker,
detached dude. Sometimes
he's a weird motherfucker.
He can't stay in one place, and he's like, he's on his phone, and he's like,
dude, the phone.
the fucking phone. I don't know what he would do with that.
Just,
I just want to take that fucking phone and just be like, be present, bitch.
Yeah,
be
dude.
present.
Yeah,
you know?
dude. Yes, and so does everyone in our fucking family. At family get-togethers, dude. And he's like I mean, Chris, I fucking love you, so I apologize for this. But like
he's not gonna listen.
So true. He acts like a 16-year-old girl when you call him out for it.
Oh.
He's just like, everyone says that. You know,
I know.
And just like, everyone says it because it's annoying as fuck, dude. Put your fucking phone away. This is the most annoying part, though. He's not just on his phone, playing loud-ass videos while people are talking.
Oh, I know.
Just like,
of himself.
well, that's the thing. I was with him on Christmas, whenever the fuck the season 2 of You premiered.
Oh, yeah.
And midnight came, and that's when Netflix drops their shit. And he was like, "Do you want to watch You?" And I was thinking, I mean, I'm not even an actor, so fuck it. But like, I was thinking, I can't even imagine a world where a thing with me in it to look at becomes available, and I want to watch it right away.
Right.
I don't even want to see a picture of me.
Oh, you're like that?
I am like that, dude.
You know what? I've never been like that.
Yeah.
You know, because I have this thing to like suspend my disbelief about, like, that's why when I watched I'm Dying Up Here and I'm looking at myself, and there was a part where I felt like, damn, I felt like I did a good job because I wasn't looking at it like, oh, that's me.
Right. Yeah.
You know?
But you're a performer, though, and that's your trade, and you're so used to it. And that's what you've embraced.
Right.
And it's what you are now.
But some people that are performers still don't want to look at themselves.
It's true. Do you see that fucking Adam Driver shit? Where they put okay, so he was... This is amazing, actually. He was on some NPR show, which nobody fucking listens to, but he was talking about Marriage Story, which I actually haven't seen that.
I haven't seen that
because I don't want to be depressed.
Yeah. Just like, oh, so marriage sucks?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Marriage sucks for a filmmaker? Yeah, I want to see that.
Yeah.
Like what the fuck, you know? But he apparently asks ahead of time for them to not play clips of him in front of him because he doesn't like to watch himself. But this is where it gets good. They did it anyway on NPR.
Oh, wow.
Because somehow he either slipped through the cracks. Like, they weren't trying to piss him off or anything.
Right.
They just, someone slipped up. He fucking stormed off.
Really?
Yeah, dude.
Wow.
Like, dude, don't
really, Kylo?
Yeah, just up and out. Like a fit, like a little hissy fit.
Yeah, so if he would have had a lightsaber, he would have...
Dude, yeah, it's a good thing he wasn't fucking in character. That fucking
I don't like that.
It's like you've crossed the line. Now you're just a fucking true asshole.
You know, from working with Sandler, actually, because I was in Murder Mystery.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And it's funny, Chris hit me up the other day. He sends me this text message. He's like, you were good in Murder Mystery. I'm like, man, fuck you.
Fuck
you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Just the way he says things, you know. But anyways, one thing I really appreciate about Sandler is that we do a take and he wants to look at it.
Oh shit!
He wants to look at it, see, and I was like, "Oh man, I loved it," because I looked at it. I was with there watching. And I was like, "Oh shit, I don't like that.
Yeah.
I was like, look how I'm walking. Why am I walking like that?
You start to
what am I doing with my
like?
I was like, no, it's not necessarily second guess. It's like, let me improve on the performance. Let me improve on like, okay, I did it that way. It's like a thing where let me not look there at a certain time, because it can get down to a science when you're doing a bunch of takes, and let's say during the take I'm picking this up.
Yeah.
I want to know I'm picking it up at the same time every single time. So the editor, so you whatever I'm adding to the performance, it's actually good to see it.
Yeah.
So like I can understand like not wanting to see the finished product, but to me I think it's like disrespect to the product. Like if you can't, like if he can't be like, let's sit and watch Star Wars and I'm going to see what it's like, he must think it sucks.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good point. I mean, I will say this: not liking to look at me is a reason why I could never really actually be an actor.
That's why you're behind the camera.
Yeah, I mean, I was in I made a movie called American Animal that I was in, but this was like a fucking decade ago, and that was the last thing I ever did as an actor. I was just like editing the movie, screening the movie. I mean, it did well. We sold it. It was out in theaters and shit. But dude, I was in it, and it like took away from my ability to enjoy it, because I was like, I don't like looking at me nonstop.
Yeah,
and it was impossible to know that was going to be the case. But now it's like I can't do that anymore. It's just I don't like to see me. It's not that I have like a problem with it. It's just
no. I
it's
get
almost
it.
like
It's
an eerie like
it's almost phobia-ish.
Yeah, a little bit.
I know what you
is.
mean.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, as a director, filmmaker, you write too, right?
Yeah.
So,
I mean, that's how I make a living as a writer.
Right.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that. That's crazy that I don't know that.
Yeah. I mean, like, because here's the thing: as a writer, you can get hired 10 times a year and write something that never fucking ever gets made.
Oh, that's right.
And sometimes you can know this is never going to get made. I'm going to take that job because it's a piece of shit. Yeah. I'm going to take that job, get paid. That's never going to get made. It's fucking great for me. 8 weeks, fuck it.
I didn't even know this. We should be working together.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I would work with you in a heartbeat. Dude, but as a director, as you also know, especially with indies, that shit falls apart.
Yeah.
And you can't rely on a career making money as a director, as a movie director, unless you're fucking Darren Aronofsky
I find that I did a little indie called The First Girl I Loved. Mm-hmm. It was like a lesbian coming of age movie, and I was like a teacher of one of the girls, and it was great. It's actually a really great movie. You can see it on Hulu. But the director of this movie, he's very pretentious. I love him, right? Yeah. But he's to the point where I think at the time, he's probably different now, but at the time, it was like he just wants to do those type of movies.
Right.
He wrote it. It was just beautifully done.
Yeah.
But I go, dude, you got to go make the bullshit movie,
right,
so you can finance.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, exactly.
This shit that you could do for the rest of your life. Yeah. But that's hard for some people that are like, I will never sell out, that kind of shit. It's not selling out. No. It's just like having a job at fucking, your day job at Kinko's to support your career, or, like a stripper,
100%.
Who's paying away to medical school.
It's the same shit. It's a weird, the selling out thing. I think it's a little bit easier for me because I can separate as a writer. For me, the way I look at it as a writer, I'll do anything. I'll write your fucking obituary if you pay me. You know what I mean? But like as a director, not only would I rather be pickier about that because it's your piece of work basically. As a writer, you give the work away. The director sort of has their name on it, and it's kind of like that's the authorship is accredited to the director usually, right?
Yeah.
Even though you wrote it, whatever. But with with a script, it's basically all it is that the directing movies so much fucking work. It's blood, sweat, and tears, and it's years. Writing a script is X amount of weeks.
Right.
You're not dying over the fucking computer screen as you're writing it. You know what I mean? And so I find that easier to stick with that term, to sell the fuck out when I'm writing. You know what I mean?
That's your day job.
Yeah, because it's like I'll just fucking write anything. I don't give a shit. You know what I mean? And yeah, it's something. Writing is also for me the easiest one of all of them. You know, because it's just I don't know, practice makes it a bit easier. Okay,
so then as a writer, director, to take you back to what we were first talking about, is like when you're watching a movie, what's the first thing that's going to take you out of it?
Out of it?
Yeah.
I honestly, and I find myself thinking this often, I like almost every beginning of every movie. Because to me, and it might have something to do with the fact that I am a writer, the beginning of a movie, any movie, has so much promise, unless it's just like horrible, like it sounds horrible or something, then you're like, well, I can't watch this shit.
Yeah.
But just generally, if it's a movie that's somewhat well made, I'll fill in the potential blanks of what's to come. And then it'll be like, well, this is promising. It could go there. It could go there. And I'm not.
And then that's what lets you down.
Yeah.
later.
And then, but then it's like, but it's a double-edged sword because I've like invented a movie that there's
That
no
you're not
reason
watching.
there's no reason why they should make the movie I want to see.
Right.
But I've done that in my own head, and there's a thing within parameters that I feel like it should be now, and that fucks me in a way.
Got
and so
you.
sometimes even when I'm like, I fucking did not like that movie, I'll still be like, that's cool though. Like,
yeah. No, you know what? I'm the same way too. I go, this is what I've found in the last 5 to 6 years is that I have yet to see a truly great movie that I wanted to go back to the theater and see.
yeah, it's rare. Yeah.
Okay, so now I stopped thinking that those are the type of movies that are coming out. So
Right.
now I just kind of go, I enjoyed that.
Yeah.
I'll never see it again.
Right, yeah.
Like I just saw the last Rambo.
Yeah.
I actually enjoyed the shit out of that movie.
Dude,
You know?
I haven't seen one Rambo. I'm ashamed.
No, that's just.
Don't
Why am I
do
not
it.
surprised?
Don't do it. Don't do it.
But it's like that kind of movie. So I might go see a movie and go, people say, hey, how was that? So we've lowered our expectations so much that it's like, you're like, it was all right.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
That's the review of the movie is, it was all right.
Yeah.
You know, go see it.
Yeah.
Because now, this is one of the things I appreciate about Sandler is like the move to Netflix
Yeah.
is great because I'll watch a Netflix movie.
Yeah.
Like I'll watch like that Will Smith movie, where he's like it's like a fantasy world combined with the real world. What's it called? Oh shit! I'm gonna have to look it up because motherfuckers are gonna be like, you know, they're gonna be like, you didn't get it right.
Wait, when did it? When
it was on Netflix.
Is it new?
It's
the one with the cop movie.
Yeah.
Shit. Yeah. It was one word. The fuck is that?
Yeah. Right now the chat is going crazy right now. Come on. Where is it?
But not. I'm about to say fucking burnt. It's not that though.
Yeah, something like that.
It is, right?
Okay, Will Smith Netflix movie. It's called Bright.
Oh, I got a lot of letters right and everything. Fuck.
Here's the thing. I loved Bright.
Oh shit.
I did. I loved it.
It looked fun.
Because Will Smith he's just a national treasure. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
Like Will Smith could be Anne Frank in a movie.
Yeah.
You know, and we'll walk in that theater like Will tore that up. He was all quiet. You know?
The size was a bit of a mismatch, but yeah, he pulled it off. Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, Bright. Okay, it was on Netflix.
Yeah.
I probably still would have went because I'm a fantasy nerd like that.
Right.
I probably still would have bought a ticket, but I could see people being like, I wouldn't have bought a ticket.
But
it's like, did you watch it?
Yeah.
It's like Netflix is great for that. So Sandler, like, he was having some like Little Nicky, and it was like it was some really bad in the theater
down.
movie. It was
That's
going
right.
down.
Yeah.
And then he was like, you know what? Let's switch to Netflix, and he made some great work. It was some great projects that like the expectation is different because once you have to go to the theater, spend money, buy popcorn, park, and all that shit, all the effort to go to a theater, sometimes you go, I don't know if this movie's worth that.
100%. Yeah.
But this movie's worth that.
Yeah.
Because it's on Netflix.
Just hit play. Yeah.
I can just hit play.
I mean, Netflix, a lot of people in the industry moan about what Netflix has done to the industry, and there is some downside to it. Dude,
What's the downside?
I find it to be very little downside because for a filmmaker, there's way more shit getting made. So that just means way more opportunities. As a viewer, there's just way more shit to watch. And it goes so deep with whatever niche you're into. You like documentaries? Holy shit.
Yeah.
It's a fucking new documentary a week.
Did you see that one about the cats? Don't
Dude,
fuck
I keep
with
hearing
cats?
about that one.
You haven't watched that one, all right. I want to watch that one. I want to watch the Aaron Hernandez one.
Dude,
I'm not big on documentaries, but I'm starting to get into it. But I know what you mean, but keep going.
Yeah, I just think that also with TV, I mean, like Netflix, I mean, this is old, but House of Cards, we forget because shit moves so fast. That was revolutionary. That was the first show that was like, we're going to dump them all like this, all at once. You watch them at once. That sort of changed what binge watching even was.
But see, I'm against it. I don't like it.
You still don't like it?
No. I like it. Listen. Everybody doesn't want to wait.
Yeah.
That's why you make them wait.
Appointment television. So you're into it before the almost like
if they dumped Game of Thrones like that, we would not have been into it as much because
I mean you're right about that.
You have to take time to invest in the characters and wonder and what's happening. Like Umbrella Academy on Netflix, enjoyed it. can't tell you shit about it in my head right now.
Yeah.
Because I watched it like this. Done. It was over. I already watched it. You can binge. What I like about Netflix is the ability to binge watch later and being able to like, here's an episode. Okay, the next episode, now these 2 are available.
Right.
Now these 3 are available.
Yeah.
Now these 4 are That's how they should do it.
Yeah,
but like this whole like letting people watch everything, fuck them. Fuck you. You should wait. You'll feel better about it. You know?
Make yourself wait,
Make yourself wait.
Yeah, I mean, I will say the way I didn't even mean to do it this way. I thought, this is idiotic actually. Back when Breaking Bad was still on, I thought it was over. And I watched, and all 5 seasons were on Netflix, and I was like, I'm just gonna watch all this shit. I was so behind it. You know how every once in a while there's a show that everyone's seen, and you're like, I still haven't seen one episode.
Dude, I didn't watch first 3 seasons of that show.
There you go. Yeah,
and I just was like, okay,
yeah, exactly.
Okay, I'm gonna watch. And then I was like, wow, this is great.
And then then obviously the show is being what it is. I was like, and I went through them all, and it didn't end, and I was like, uh-oh. Now I gotta wait. I was so fucking into it, and I expected to see the end.
Yeah.
And I was like,
yeah, but didn't that feel good when you finally saw it?
It felt so good.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah.
No, what I don't like about some Netflix things is like when Netflix first started putting like old TV shows on or current TV shows, I didn't realize that they would put on a show that's never coming back on the air. Like I wish I could remember the name of this show, but I just started watching it, and it was about like a spaceship. Earth was about to go bad, and they built this spaceship that it was going to be 100-year travel to another place to colonize a planet. And it was basically about the people on this ship going into this, right?
Was it called The Expanse?
No.
Okay.
But that's a different show.
Okay.
So, but what it turned out is it was just an experiment, and the people on the ship didn't know. They were actually in a warehouse in like Reseda, and they didn't know because they were trying to like
right. Okay,
whatever they were trying to do. But anyways, I was so gripped. Come to find out, they only did 1 season, and it was on like FX or it was on some network that they canceled it.
Right. So you have no more.
So I was fully invested, and like these motherfuckers not even coming back. So I hate that. So now I know. I go, let me see. Is this show?
You gotta research it. Yeah.
Did they end it? What's going on? You got to research. But you know, okay. So that we're both talking about the upsides and downsides to Netflix. For I mean, let me just say why I don't like Netflix as someone in the industry.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So like. All it's doing is taking away money out of the actor's pocket.
Well, that is the ultimate problem with media in general.
Yeah, just it's like, so Shonda Rhimes decides she's going to sign a big Netflix deal. Yeah. Well, all that means is Netflix is going to give her all the money, and then the actors in the show will never see residuals.
Yeah. And they'll get paid less than they would for a network show first run anyway.
Yes. Yeah. But I hear that that Netflix cut a deal with SAG recently that there's going to be some sort of scaled if it's playing, there's going to be some kind of scaled thing where people are going to get more residual. I believe
that's good because
but that's to me is what's initially wrong with it. Well,
the residual thing. I mean, so many actors have their whole careers made their living off of getting enough work and banking on the residuals that come in to keep being an actor. Yeah. Now motherfuckers having to retire at like 50, 55 being like, I don't get residuals anymore.
It's a hobby.
I can't even do this shit. Yeah. Exactly. It's a hobby.
It's a hobby. Yeah. So that's, well, I guess, like I say, so that's the upside and downside to Netflix. Man, I had so many questions for you. Now that one's, you know what? I had a couple of internet questions.
Hell yeah.
Had somebody that had a question for you that, has anybody on your podcast changed your mind about anything?
Oh, fuck. That is a good question. Damn, that is a good question. I actually don't know. What I do know is that there are guests who have like broken my mind open in a way.
Oh, really?
Where I'm like, holy shit. Because here's the thing. You hear about flat earthers, for example, right? And you're like, and you know how crazy they are, right?
Yeah.
And you know what you think of them and how, whatever, even stupid you might say they are. But you talk to one and you are forced to confront the fact that that's a person with a full life, full of thoughts and ideas and emotions who thinks this thing. It's like, it makes you, the perspective of your perspective of that person changes so much because there's the defining thing they believe in a flat earth that makes them an idiot. And then you talk to them and it's like, they're just another fucking person. And it's sort of strange to experience a pretty relatively normal conversation and have empathy or sympathy, whatever, for someone who like, you're just like, aren't you fucking crazy? It's easier to put you in a crazy box.
Right.
But nobody's really in that box unless you're running around the street with no clothes on, shouting at fucking God.
Yeah.
Most people, even the crazy ones, are pretty fucking normal.
But your example of like people running around, that actually can be explained away easier.
Right. Oh yeah.
You find out that they have some kind of like their drinking problem, drugs, or there's some kind of thing wrong. That's not even crazy.
Right.
The crazy person is a person that sits there and looks at you and says, black people are less than,
right.
Or the earth is flat.
Yeah.
So that's the person when you go, where's this coming from?
Yeah.
So you're saying to me then basically that this just expanded your thinking process. It made you like, let me not judge. Let me find out why they feel the way they feel.
It's more this opening of I don't know if empathy is the right word, but it kind of is that, where you're like being forced, especially talking to people, some people I disagree with, like talking to fucking hardcore Republicans and shit, deeply religious people. And I'm just, and they don't make me agree with them, but what they do is they force me to see that they are full human beings. The things that I don't like about them don't define actually who they are. They define who they are until I actually talk to them. And that has changed the way I look at other people too.
Right.
Because I'll see someone and be like, I fuck that person. That person's this, that. I disagree with them. They're pieces of shit. But then I'll be like, yeah, but like there's other shit more. Exactly. And it makes
work. They have the wants, needs, desires, happiness, sadness. Oh man, I know exactly what you're saying.
And people don't like to think that way because it's harder to think with that complexity about everybody. Because it's easier to be like piece of shit, piece of shit, piece of shit, friend, ally, piece of shit. But it's way more complicated than that. You know what I mean?
I totally agree with you. And I think that's like, so like I used to be a person that believed like, I was one of these like old heads that's like, the young people are too sensitive.
Yeah.
I think right?
Yeah.
And now I realize they're not sensitive. They're just stupid.
Right. Yeah. Well, they're young.
They're ignorant.
They don't know yet.
And so they think that everything can be summed up in 140 characters.
Right. Yeah.
And so they have like, it's like, I hate, I love, this made me feel this way.
Right.
But they never delve past, why do I feel this way?
Yeah.
Or somebody says something that is upsetting. They never ask, I wonder why they said that. Where are they coming from? Yeah. Take the time to be like, because you might find out where they're coming from and you'd be like, oh, that's actually why I think you're an asshole.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Totally.
But it's like there's no real level of like thought and communication anymore. And it's just like, that's just a really frustrating thing. You're a very level-headed guy. And do you think that is from being from such you have a great family, and Chris talks about this a lot, even through his stand-up about he's like, no, I didn't do comedy because I was molested, or I didn't do comedy because I had a single parent. No, he had a 2-parent home, a wealthy family. He's got a brother, a dog. You had this great family. And so like, tell me like, how is it coming from such a stable home? How do you credit that to the way you are right now?
I mean, definitely. I definitely credit that. I would also say though, my family is very, we come from it's like the classic Italian family thing. Everybody's loud and got an opinion and everybody's yelling at each other. I mean, I brought friends, girlfriends, whatever, over for family dinner. And for the first time, they're like, why is everyone so mad at each other? I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? This is the best time I had all week.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so it's sort of, it's hard to upset me with someone's attitude. Right. And also though, as a kid, being sort of exposed to these extreme opinions, often very, very different, and you're sort of seeing the adults do it while also in this familial setting, and it's a safe setting where you can really sort of rip someone apart, basically, but in a way where it's this really like nuanced way where you're clearly, it's a loving thing, and the banter or almost like teasing of it becomes like the fun of it. You know what I mean? And so it's like it's harsh. It's argumentative. It's deeply opinionated. It's at loggerheads with one another, but it's all within like the same scope of like a familial thing.
See, and this is what I'm saying. It's like you couldn't do that on Twitter.
Well, Twitter, the thing about fucking Twitter.
And by the way, the word you use, which is one of my favorite words, nuanced.
Dude.
And nuance is what is missing from young minds.
Yeah. Well, it is the Twitter thing. I mean, that
there's no nuance.
Twitter's the death of nuance.
Yes.
And there's so many problems to me, at least, especially with social media is one thing. Twitter in particular is a fucking hellmouth, dude.
Yeah.
That I can actually get depressed being on there for 5 minutes, just scrolling through my feed. People everyone's so fucking absolute. Everyone's so black and white about what they fucking think. And you're just like, dude, who is this benefiting? And I think it's just about this, like, they're putting forth this persona that they believe is the thing that their fans or their listeners, their audience, whatever, are relying upon them for. But the result is this: everyone's just yelling what they think out into nothing, and no one's listening. They're just yelling this shit.
It's not a conversation.
There's no conversation going on.
Yeah, it's really weird. It's like it's hard to do this kind of platform too, because then you see comments and you go. And the most upsetting thing about a certain types of comments is like from the how the comment is written. I'm like, you weren't listening to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's the hard, like, I don't mind some dialogue.
Right, yeah.
I don't mind somebody being like, I completely disagree with you, and this is why.
Yeah.
And then I can be like, oh, we're engaged now. Let's do this.
Totally.
But that's not what it is. It's like, just like, you know, and then littered with insults at the same time, you know?
Let me fucking paint a picture for you and tell me how hard this would be for you to believe. You're watching something on YouTube or you're listening to someone's podcast, and you think of something mean, and then you write it and share it with the world. Imagine like doing that.
Just I know.
What the fuck is that?
When you say it like that too, it's like that's what people are doing. Like I had a comment just today or whatever. It was like I made a comment about somebody saying some things, and I was like, you know, why? I'm saying this exact point.
Yeah.
Like, why? Like,
what are you doing?
Like you, all the choices you have. It'd be one thing if this was the only podcast.
Right. Yeah. Right.
Like,
yeah.
I'm the only podcast.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then, you want to be like, yo, what are you talking about? Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
But like, you could just go like this. Click, I'm gone.
Yeah.
I'm gone from your life.
Yeah.
I'm gone from your world.
Totally.
But you want to say, like, you want to make a comment like, well, you were talking about this nonsense for an hour. I'm like, so you're telling me that you listened for an hour?
Yeah. Did you listen just to get mad?
Yeah. Right. I think that's what people do.
I think it is. I think
they
it is.
listen to get mad. This one piece of shit was saying like then he wants to be like, you know, trying to like psychoanalyze me. You know what I mean? Like those are the ones like, you know, I'm like, oh my God. But but then like I have a problem like I engage.
Yeah.
You know, Chris and I had the same problem.
Chris is like that, yeah.
Chris is like, he'll like, you know, say some shit to people like, you know, it's hilarious to me because I get that energy.
He gets riled the fuck up.
He gets riled up, you know, and it's like, but it's like, why? You know, I got to stop. For me, I got to stop getting riled up. But at the same time, I want to look because occasionally somebody's saying something that I want to be like, okay, I'll have a back and forth with you.
Every once in a while, it's a valid thing, and the way criticism is supposed to work, which is like, there's this thing I was thinking maybe you could try this, and you're like, oh.
Yeah.
Well, thanks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I mean, here's the ultimate thing of what it is for me. If you're the kind of person that would say that shit to my face, write it down on Twitter. Fine. But you're not. You're gonna fucking write it, snipe at me or whoever the fuck on Twitter, whatever the fuck. And if you saw me in person, you wouldn't even fucking say shit. So like, dude, if you're gonna be consistent. Fine, you're gonna be a consistent piece of shit asshole. Whatever, that's just how you are.
That's you.
But if you're gonna be a fucking little bitch hiding behind your screen, and if you saw me in fucking person, you just walk the other way.
How about this? They're already hiding because like it's like some dumbass username. Sometimes they don't even have a profile pic. The anonymous comments. I'm like, no, fuck you.
Yeah.
No. Put your name on it.
Yeah.
Put your name on it.
Yeah.
Because I'm putting my name on it.
Yeah.
This isn't like username, you know, Trufflehead.
Well, that would be pretty fucking sick though, yeah. Trufflehead.
Trufflehead podcast, people are like, who's that guy? No, I know who the fuck I am. Yeah. This is Erik Griffin, erikgriffin.com. You can know where I am. Go to my website. Yeah. You got my email, you got my Twitter, you got my Instagram. You know exactly who I am. I'm putting my thoughts and feelings out here for the world to digest.
Yeah.
You are just being a little bitch.
The troll thing is
just
weird,
and I go like, okay, what does that do for your life?
I think people honestly are so fucking sad and lonely. That they're just like
maybe I should be more empathetic.
No, it's not even that. It's like, dude, I've been fucking sad and lonely too. I don't go around shitting on people I don't know for no fucking reason. It doesn't make me feel better.
No, but it's like this is the thing that I don't like. I said I don't mind criticism. 1, I don't mind criticism. 2, I don't mind a funny joke. Okay?
Right? Yeah.
So like, if you're gonna call me fat, make this shit funny.
Make it good.
Make it good.
Yeah.
Because I'll laugh.
Yeah, right.
You know?
Right, yeah.
But don't tell me like this one comment was like, I think the fat is getting to your head. You know what I mean? It's like, that's just you being a cunt.
Yeah, you're an asshole.
You know what I mean? And that's the thing is like, look, check it out. The fat can come and go. But your lonely, cunty mind, you're always going to be an asshole.
Yeah. That's never gonna fucking change.
I could get on a weight plan right now, and I'm still gonna be dope.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
That's true. The thing, there's a whole thing with a certain kind of person where they think they're funny, and they mix up being funny with. It's like they think they're doing a sarcastic kind of humor that they're like gonna be able to do a banter thing with like a comedian. In your case, like a famous comedian that they're a fan of, and it's just like, A, it's not funny. B, it's just out of context and you're only thinking it's good because it's something to do in your head that isn't clear. And C, you just sound like a fucking mean person.
Right.
So like none of it's working out.
Yes.
So what is the thing you're doing?
Yes, it's just empathy is what's needed. You know,
Yeah,
and that's just and that's just what's missing.
It is, dude.
You know, that's what's missing. That's what, you know, it's like I just did a solo episode the other day after the Kobe Bryant, you know, and all that stuff happened, you know, and then like, you know, it's like Ari Shafir, you know,
what the fuck?
Like he did that thing, you know, and I didn't talk about it. I didn't want to mention his name on my solo episode because I was like, but whatever.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, because it's like, you know, what because I'm sure what he's dealing with right now, I'm sure there's regret.
Did he get a massive blowback on that?
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
I think he's already come out with an apology or something, but it doesn't even matter. My thing is like, it's just there's a lack of empathy there. And I feel like I have sometimes a lack of empathy when how I choose material. You know,
okay.
So like, so I'm trying to work on that. I had Neil
Okay,
Brennan on the podcast, and he was just really going at me about this particular topic. And I was like, afterwards, I was like, you know what? That's true. There's a way to like, you do be you.
Yeah.
Like don't water down yourself to the point where you don't feel like you're being true to yourself.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like be thoughtful and empathetic to like the characters and your jokes and your stories.
Yeah, right.
Because you know the thing, like I say, the thing that really the thing that I think was wrong about what Ari said was just the fact that there's 9 people on there.
I know, yeah.
There's 9.
Yeah.
You know, and it's crazy. There's 3. You know, like people don't even understand all the people that were on that helicopter.
Yeah.
Like Kobe's so famous.
Yeah, right.
That 3 white girls were on that helicopter and nobody knows who the fuck they are.
I do think about that when a really
that's how famous he is.
Yeah, when a really famous celebrated person dies in a group, imagine being like knowing or being close to someone who was in the group but wasn't the famous person.
I know. I always think like if I'm on a plane, I'm looking around like, okay, if this plane goes down, it's going to be like comedian Erik Griffin died, you know. But then it's like, oh fuck, there goes like Sting. You're like shit. Now
David Caruso.
I know. Now I'm the and others.
Yeah. Then you're the one that comes out like the second week. Oh, also.
Right. Remember that plane crash from 6 months ago?
Right,
Guess who was on that flight?
We forgot to mention.
Yeah, man. Let me see what time we're at here. Like, wow, look at that. You were we did good, man.
Well, how long do you usually go for? You do like
an hour, whatever. I don't know what you got going on. I want to keep you. But like, look, man, I really appreciate you coming on. You know, I think that we should talk more. I'd love for you to come back.
Let me tell you the story about when I met you, though.
Let's do it.
All right. So I actually was thinking about this driving over here, and it's fucking funny. I brought it up with my brother a few months ago, and he remembered one part about it, the part at the very end. But it was at the 101. This was, I don't even know how long.
Yeah, we used to go there all.
How long have you known Chris?
Shit, man, over 10 years now.
So it's probably 10 years ago, I would guess. And it was at the 101, and it was, I don't remember how you met us separate, and he was like, my buddy Eric coming, and I remember at that time when you guys were all still starting out, kind of basically still very much on the up.
Yeah.
The comics he was around, it was like every once in a while, just a true freak would be around, and you'd be like, Chris, you can't hang out with that motherfucker. Like that guy's a killer or something.
He still got those guys. They open for him.
Oh yeah, Michael Noce, you're a fucking freak. You'll never.
Yeah, he has them open for him. He likes having that energy around.
Yeah. But this, like, every once in a while, and so he said, my friend, buddy Eric's coming. I was like, oh, we'll see what this motherfucker's like. But then you show up, and I was like, oh, I like this motherfucker, like right away, you know. And for some reason, I don't remember the context, but I do remember you kept acting out what it's like to bust a nut for some reason. Okay, and the reason I remember it was twofold. One, I was like, I can't believe I've just met this guy and he's doing this in front of me. Like, this is fucking hilarious. But every time you would act out busting a nut, and this is the part that made Chris remember, you would go like this. And I'm sorry because it's going to be extremely fucking loud, but like this. And you did that specifically like 10
That's
times.
what it is.
Yeah, there was. Like 10 times, and people were like looking over and shit. And you were just like, and we were just like dying, dude. And that's my memory of meeting you. You acting out, busting a nut, and I love that you still know what the fucking thing is. That's keeping it real right there. Still remembering.
Keep it at 100 at 101.
Yeah, hell yeah, dude. Yeah,
those were the good times, you know. And like I say, that's what I'm saying about what I appreciate about, you know, your family, just your dad, even your mom. Your mom is the best.
Yeah, dude.
You know what I mean?
She loves you. Yeah.
Yeah, your mom's the best. Your family is that, you know, there's like a groundedness that you guys have, and I think that's, you know, really, I think it's from your parents.
It is,
you know.
Yeah. Yeah,
and it's great that that energy is out there, and that's why you both are successful. And you know, I wish you all the best. And you know, like I say, I'd love for you to be a regular. Like what we should do is like start going to see movies together, and then come back and be like, let's talk about the movie, because you know, to recap, 1917 was fucking phenomenal. We both recommend you guys seeing that movie, and you know, just to see what you know, and also just to chit chat and catch up on life. I mean, I love doing this format because, like I say, you sit down with someone that you haven't had like a conversation about life with before, and then like things happen and come out, and then it's great to share this with the world, because this is what we want people to do. Yeah, what we're saying to you is have conversations. Yeah. Have intimate conversations.
And whatever it's about will change the complexion of your mind about that person always.
Exactly. Yeah. You know, as opposed to like, imagine if the podcast was like, we just tweeting at each other. Oh my God.
I mean, that's an idea, actually.
Like, that's the podcast, just watching a Twitter feed.
Watch it burn down.
Yeah, just melt down. Just racial slurs and everything comes like that. So,
burn
you know,
every possible bridge.
I guess that's the basically the gist of the whole thing, guys. It's just like, you know, just open up, have an open mind, open heart, and just, you know, you don't have to agree. I'm not even saying you have to agree with people. It's just that, you know, but be open to hearing what they have to say, process it, then make your thoughts. Boom, respond.
Yes. That's what my podcast is all about, dude. I mean, I'm talking to fucking...
Yeah, what's the name of your podcast?
Matt D'Elia is Confused. I have guests from fucking total freaks. Like
all walks of life?
Exorcists, all the way up to like fucking politicians and scientists. It's just a variety of shit that either I don't understand and want to, or just perplexes me, or just is... wild shit that I want to learn more about.
Oh, I love
and it's been good, dude. I mean, we got a bunch of fucking really cool guests.
I'm about to look at it and steal some clips for my green screen.
Yeah, hell yeah. I love that shit. Yeah, I've been seeing that. Yeah.
I did a funny one with you and your brother.
I love that one.
It's just because of what you guys were talking about. Yeah. It just lent itself to like me being there.
You being right in the middle.
Yeah. So good, and you guys saying like, I hate when a video's not what it says it is. You know, and I'm like, oh shit, are they talking about me? But anyways, guys, this has been Matt D'Elia. The cool D'Elia.
Hell yeah.
The best D'Elia.
Yeah.
Well, Bill's the best.
Bill,
mom, then you.
Bill, Ellie, me, then Chris. Below, you can't see. That's where Chris is. Yeah.
Actually, they save a spot for, you know what I mean?
Yep.
And then we put Chris. But anyways, thanks for coming on, guys. All this information will be below. Please share, subscribe, and like. And I'll see you next week with some more free content, right? Thanks for watching.
Thank you.
Boom.